Muhammad was a warlord. And I don't know what to do about that fact.
Recently, Jordan Peterson became interested in Islam and started talking to Muslim apologists. This happened because he talked about Islam before. He said that he doesn't actually know much about Islam except that it spread by the sword and that Muhammad was a warlord and similar things. And he was then offered to speak to Muslim apologists. Among those Muslim apologists that he spoke to, we have Mohammed Hijab.
You are a prostitute! You sons of bitches!
I want to say a few things here. I think if Jordan Peterson is interested in Islam, an idea as controversial as Islam, then I think Jordan Peterson should talk not only to those who sell Islam, to the apologists, not scholars, apologists. He should also talk to those who criticize Islam. Islam is an ideology that is very much involved in problems, conflicts in the world. It rules over people, fights people, oppresses people. If Jordan Peterson only wants to talk to those who are proponents of Islam, then that means he only talks to the perpetrators. He should also talk to the victims, such as the ex-Muslims, for example. In the end, I can't imagine that Jordan Peterson would also only talk to the communist regime and proponents of communism if he wanted to talk about communism or about Soviet Russia. He would also talk to people who are against it, who survived it, who were persecuted. Similarly, maybe he should also talk to those that are persecuted by Islam, those who are shunned by Islam, those who are punished by Islam, those who experienced Islam and those who don't like it. Otherwise, it would kind of be like trying to buy a product or looking at a product and only talking to those who have good reviews about it or who sell it, who take commission from it, while completely ignoring all those who criticize it and who leave bad reviews about it and who are killed for leaving bad reviews about it. Jordan Peterson is not wrong about Islam. Islam is an authoritarian, cruel, totalitarian system. Jordan Peterson is very passionate about individualism, about freedom. He has a whole display at home of art from Soviet Russia because of its emphasis on authoritarianism and totalitarianism. Given his passions and his views, it should be very important for Jordan Peterson to learn more about Islam from both sides so that he can see that Islam is totalitarian, authoritarian, extremely collectivistic and against the idea of individualism, very hateful for the oppression of people who think freely, for the killing of those who no longer want to believe in it, and silencing opponents. Just the matter of apostates, for example. The average Muslim apologist and scholar and textbooks will tell us that apostasy is punished with death. If Jordan Peterson asks his guest Mohammed Hijab about this matter, he will lie to him and say he thinks apostates should not be executed, they should be deported. He will say that this is in alignment with Islamic scholarship. It is not. That is number one. And number two, this is the mildest thing that you can say about apostasy. He suggests that apostates should be deported from an Islamic state, and that an Islamic state should be established. Imagine we said the same thing about Muslims here, or about those who convert to Islam. Jordan Peterson should talk to the ex-Muslims who are an illegal minority, who are not supposed to exist, they are supposed to be killed. He should talk to the critics, the blasphemers, who are not supposed to exist. He had a conversation with Ayaan Hirsi Ali before, and with all due respect to Ayaan Hirsi Ali, she has the culture and the experience and the knowledge of politics. I wouldn't say that she is very knowledgeable on Islamic law. Many others are. I can tell you a lot about Islamic law. I can open the books and show you what Islamic law is, the history of Muhammad. If Islam was a state, it would be worse than the Soviet Union, which Jordan Peterson is so passionately against. We have examples of the Islamic State and Islamic states in our time, and those are only a milder version of what would actually come forth. The Taliban is a hint. If Islam was a state, we ex-Muslims would be the persecuted hidden minority who would not be allowed to exist, who would not be allowed to speak out and to identify themselves as former Muslims. I think it would be only consistent with Jordan Peterson's own values to speak to us, because Islam is against everything that he loves, as said. I would like to ask Jordan Peterson to invite me and others, critics and ex-Muslims, and speak to us as well. Do not only speak to the proponents, also to the opposition. Not only to the perpetrators, also to the victims. Not only to the rulers, also to those who are being ruled. Not only to those who can be as loud as they want, but also to those who have no voice. I have faith that Jordan Peterson will consider this and be consistent with his own values that he preached for years now. Of course, I will go ahead and also publish a follow-up video in which I will tell Jordan Peterson 10 things that he should know about Islam. Thank you for watching. I will be back. Have a fantastic day and stay away from Islam.
The capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.